Hey guys, it's Elisa, or the Diamond Stitcher as I go by on YouTube and Instagram. I hope you are having a good day or a good evening, whatever time it is that you're checking this video out. Now, I'm actually filming this intro at the end of this WIP and Chat because I came up on this counter to swap out my release papers. I finished my row here, so I wanted to put the next row of release papers down, if that makes sense. And then I took a look at her hair and I decided I wanted to bling her out a bit, so I thought I would bring my phone up here. Somebody asked me my process for blinging her up, and I had said, well, I'm going to work on another kit that maybe I'll do kind of a how-to video on that one. But then I thought, I'm up here. I feel like blinging our hair out. I might as well push play and see what happens. So what turned into a quick explanation video turned into a 48-minute before editing WIP and Chat. So I've probably edited it down some, but hopefully you enjoyed this and my kind of thought process and how I went about blinging her out, her wings and her hair so far. I still have some blinging out to do down here, the rest of this wing and a bit more of her hair down here. I haven't decided if I want to bling out any of these flowers, kind of these little flowers in the image here at the top of the grass. I haven't decided if I want to. My problem is I don't know what it's supposed to look like, and it's really hard for me to decide that I'm going to bling out this entire blue when I don't really know what that is supposed to look like. So I might leave that. I may end up, what I did for these crystals over in the wings is I pre-planned it. What I did for here, you're going to see in this video, is I popped the diamonds off I already had down and replaced them with crystals. So 2 ways that you can do blinging out your painting. The crystals I'm using are from Oraloa. I did an unboxing of these guys the other day. Really happy with the quality, and they're super, super sparkly. So I used pinks, this blue and the green in her hair, gave her some highlights. So I hope you enjoyed the video and my ramblings for today. But anyways, enough of that. Let's get started. Let's roll the WIP and Chat. I am sitting here on a sunny afternoon, popping off diamonds from this fairy's hair. I don't know, I was finishing up the section here on the left, and I was looking at her, and I thought, you know what, I feel like putting some crystals in her hair, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So to pop off square diamonds easily, see if I can zoom in a bit more. I hope I'm still in frame. Yeah, let me center it a bit. So to pop off square drills easy, I take my DAC tweezers, I pinch them together and hold. I stick the corner of it under the bottom right corner of the diamond I want to pop off, and I just flick my wrist, and it usually pops off. And then I keep doing it. I can actually get into quite a rhythm. Right now my head is back a bit so that so you're not looking at the top of my head. So otherwise I would be even a little bit faster. But I thought I have, oops, I took out a blue one I didn't want. I have those crystals from Oraloa that I put in. Oh yeah, let me zoom out a bit. You can see I put in some accents in the wings here. Don't mind, that's just my printout of the schematic. There we go. I added some crystal outline around the wings there. And then I did just a few accents in the middle here where they had what looked like the lines. Like if you've ever looked really close at an insect's wings, they have these veins or lines on their wings. So I thought I would, instead of making like an entire color a crystal, I would just do the accents. So wherever I thought it might look good, I did it. I did that before I put the drills down on this section. Then the other thing that I'll do from time to time is put the drills down and then go back and pop them off like I'm doing now, because I've changed my mind. So those are the 2 ways that you could potentially bling up your painting. There's an easy way, which is figuring out what you want before you put the diamonds that are charted down, such as I did on the wings here, and you know, swapping them out planning it, I guess, better, I should say, is what the phrase I'm looking for. By the time it hits the afternoon, my brain is mush. I don't know about you guys, but words are hard and thinking is hard. So my afternoons, I usually like sitting down and just diamond painting the afternoon away. The afternoon is actually pretty hard for me because I'm always in more pain, and my function is worse. Like my left arm right now, it's pretty sore. It's hard to see in the camera, but this hand actually is a shade of blue. And it's cold as ice because I've been overdoing it the last few days. I've been having a lot of fun filming and probably getting a little bit too carried away. My husband's actually been off this entire week, so it's been hard to film because he is not quiet. You know when he's in the room. And I joke, I think it's because he has his headphones in all the time. Not to make him sound like, I don't know, that he ignores me, but we live in the one-bedroom apartment, and when he's on his days off, he's on his computer all day making music. His friends have a band, and he makes their background tracks or whatever that's called. So he spends all day long on his days off if there's no errands to run doing music. So he always has headphones on, which is fine by me because I like watching the TV and having the TV going in the background, whether I'm watching a movie or another creator on YouTube. I like having that noise in the background. So I'm just thinking here what I want to do with that. So I always have the TV on in the background, and it's annoying. I find it, I don't know, I have a condition called dysautonomia. I'll probably say it different if you're in America, but it's dysfunction of the automatic nervous system. That is why I have something called central sleep apnea, which means my brain does not tell my lungs to breathe. I actually have to wear a CPAP because of it. And the CPAP doesn't quite treat it entirely because a CPAP is more for obstructive sleep apnea, whereas I have a brain problem. My brain is not telling my lungs to breathe. So it works to a degree, but lately I've been finding I'm still waking up exhausted, like I didn't have a very good sleep. But another part of my symptoms of dysautonomia is also, for some reason I've developed like the sound aversion. I think it's related because it can involve altered sensory input. So noises really bother me, and I can't stand when there's more than one thing playing in the background. It just kind of, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. And I can't stand it. So I don't mind that he's always got his headphones in, but I don't think he can hear how loud he's being, and I keep trying to tell him to take them out, but he won't. But he bangs and makes all sorts of noise. So he's interrupted a few times that I've hit play and trying to film this week. So between him and the cat, it's been let's say this morning I was irritated, but all is good now. I'd sat down to put a movie on, and then as I was finishing up the section, like I said, I decided I wanted to try putting some crystals in her hair. Now, I'm popping random diamonds off. I do not know what crystals I'm putting in her hair, except I know I have some blue and pink options. So what I'm thinking of doing is putting some blue and pink highlights in her hair, in the crystals. She does have some AB. You can see over here. It's white. She does have some ABs in her hair. There's some yellow and purple AB down here. It looks like it's all part of her hair. But I have a new fascination with crystals, and since I have them sitting here, with no plans to use them, I kind of wish I blinged the wings out a little bit more. But I didn't want to go back and pop off in the wings, but who knows? maybe another clip I'll be doing, I'll be sitting here popping off more diamonds in the wings. But I might go back and this, am I in frame? Nope. This purple kind of on the outside here, I'm thinking of going back, and I do have a darker purple crystal and putting that in there, and then maybe over here, I'm still not in frame. Bear with me learning the camera. And then maybe over here on the right, add some darker blue on the tips here like that to kind of give it a... And then I didn't want to add too much green in here because the green's only in the base of this wing, the green. Over here you don't see it much, so I didn't want to emphasize too much with the green. But I might go back on popping. As you can see, popping diamonds off a canvas is time consuming, and it's actually like I got an indent on my finger already from the tweezers. I could probably put one of those Diamond Art Club squishy for the pens there. It probably would hold it because I am pinching it close to pop them. I could, I guess, just pop them like that, but I've poked myself before, so I would like to think I'm being a little bit careful. Now, I think I could do a blue one over here. So as you can see, as I'm popping them off, I'm just kind of pushing them off to the side of the canvas, and then I will actually discard them. I'm not going to go through them and figure out what DMC is what. I popped off the wrong ones. Didn't want that one. Let me move these over. So what you do, you improvise on the go, eh? I guess that made me sound very Canadian. I never understood why people made fun of Canadians by saying A. But I guess it is a Canadian thing. If you guys have done this canvas and you've blinged her out, I know I probably already asked this in another video, but did you bling out her hair at all? I'm curious what. I think that might look good if I put crystals in that green there. I kind of like doing this as I go because then the diamonds haven't been stuck to the canvas too long. If I wait till the end, depending on how long it takes me to finish a canvas, the longer the diamonds are down, the stickier they're going to be, right? So if I can pop them off as I go, makes it a little bit easier. And then when I'm done popping these, I'm going to grab the crystals and we'll put some of them down. Now I have taken a bunch out of here. Let me actually grab the pink crystals and let's see what we can do here. Somebody messaged me wondering my process for going through these, the process for picking where I'm going to put the special diamonds in. I actually bought a smaller canvas from the DAC Amazon store for that purpose, and I thought it would be an easy one to show. I think that would look good. I need a tray. Pull out my trusty Mooney Made tray, small tray. I have a stopper, it's in the drawer. I tend not to use it. This is her small tray version. I actually really like this size. I've tried her large trays and they're too big for me. They're way too big. When I opened it, the first time I ever ordered a large and I opened it, I thought, oh my God. And I had a custom order in process too with her, so I quickly messaged her asking if there was any way she could cancel the larges I ordered and just make them into a small for me. And she did, which was awesome. I need a pen. I'll use my Beaster Blanks Panda pen because look at that, doesn't it match? And also I just filled it up with some Fresh Randa's Crafty Corner putty. I find after a while of using the putty, it doesn't pick up diamonds as nice. Any putty. It's not as sticky, so sometimes I need to either... I don't really have a method to the madness. I either choose some... I put the canvas out on a table and look at accent areas where it would look good, like the outline of the wings I thought would look good, kind of like glowing. And then I did all of that. And then other times when I'm finished a section, like I came up here to move, I can wiggle this. I came up here actually to put another row of release papers down like I do. And then I took another look at her hair and I thought, well, I bet you we could bling it up a little bit. So here I am, unplanned, blinging out her hair. I hope it looks good. I'm not sure if she's still doing it, but you can call me Butter as a YouTube creator too, and that's her name. She goes by on social media. She was doing a service for a while, Bling It Up, where you could hire her to go over a canvas with you and chart special diamonds into it, which I thought was a really neat idea. She has a great eye. She used to do makeup before the pandemic, so she has a really good eye for this kind of stuff. So I thought that was really cool. I don't know if she's still doing it though. Quite honestly, I haven't been following people super closely lately. I've kind of been focusing on my own thing, and I do have my usual suspects that I always tune into when they post new videos. Okay, so I've gotten pink down here. Now I think I'm going to put pink. No, I'm not going to put pink away. I wanted to do a little bit more down here because I only have one here. So let's do a little bit more pink. Now I'm going to forget what I say in some videos, so if I repeat myself, I'm sorry, but that's just the nature of me. I am forgetful. I mean, I've probably even said this before, the dog walker. I have a neighbor who walks the dog for me, and she'll call me, and as soon as I hang up to get the dog ready, another thought pops in my head that I have to deal with, and then I forget to get the dog ready, and then the dog walker's here. So my memory is not very good these days. But I had some injections just over a week ago. I thought it was longer than that. And the last 3 days have been quite hard on me. I think it's because that stash video I did took a lot out of me. My neck is still pretty sore from that. As is, I feel like I strained a muscle in my back. So those injections, I mean, they do help. Like the first 3 days, usually I have a bit of a benefit. What they inject is, there's a mix of 3 different things, and one of them is short acting. So it works very fast, but it also wears off fast. The other one works fast and it lasts a little bit longer. And then the other one usually takes 7 to 14 days to kick in and causes temporary worsening of symptoms first. So I always say after injections, after the first couple days of relief from that immediate release stuff, I usually end up in a flare-up. And it's also partly because I probably did too much, because I was feeling a little bit better. And still, 3 years later from my original injury, I still haven't mastered pacing myself, or, knowing that, okay, I'm having a good day. That doesn't mean I can be a superhero and conquer everything in one afternoon. But I seem to forget that. I think when I get relief from those procedures, it's so what's the word I'm looking for? It's so needed. It's so, like, I look forward to it. In between them, I feel pretty crappy, but for a few days after the injections, I feel somewhat normal most of the time. But then the hard thing is it's fleeting, right? Now I'm back to being sore again, so I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if the injections are even worth it, but I do know that the one that I get, which is Botox, keeps the muscles from compressing my nerves and my blood vessels. So it's kind of important. Somebody asked me, and I realized maybe I never went into it too in depth. My injury was on my left arm, my neck, shoulder, and arm. I don't have a fun story. I wasn't attacked by a patient. I didn't do something silly at work. I was simply doing part of my job, and I pulled a laundry bag that was stuck on a cart, and I just kind of yanked it a few times before it came out. And when it came out, my arm kind of went with it and snapped, and just things were not good. So I had a muscle injury, nerve injury that I had to deal with. Initially got better, and then got progressively worse until I developed compression syndrome, called thoracic outlet syndrome. It can be quite debilitating. I've now developed reoccurrent thoracic outlet syndrome, which means I have surgery. It works for me 6 to 8 months, and then I almost need another surgery. Do I like that teal in her hair? Do I want blue? I think I want the blue is softer. It's a nice teal color though. So, and then the right side, my right arm is also not good, though it's not as bad as the left. The left is permanently damaged. The right, there's still hope for. I've developed complement from overusing the right arm because of my left-sided injury. Those muscles worked way too hard for 3 years as I fought for diagnoses and surgeries and recoveries and fought going back to work and stuff. Those muscles eventually gave out. So now on my right side, my muscles are compressing the nerves and actually the arteries to a more severe degree than it did on the other side. So the arteries are worse off on my right arm, but my nerves are worse off on my left arm. So the surgery that I'm waiting for the phone call for with the OR date, in Canada, they usually call you maybe 2 weeks or less for a surgery date, at least the type of surgery I'm getting, because a vascular surgeon has to do it. And I think, vascular surgeons deal with like blood clots and life over limb, like amputations and stuff. I think they are, their schedule is less predictable, as is a knee surgeon or a hip surgeon, right? I mean, of course, they still have emergencies, but with vascular, you don't get much notice since COVID, at least, for surgery. So I'm literally just waiting for the phone call. And I signed consent originally in September. And then I kind of had cold feet, so we were holding off. But I've since given the go-ahead again when I'm getting cold feet again. But that's because my right arm is my dominant arm. While I'm quite limited in what I can do with it, I can still use it for a few things. As long as the arm is supported, like I'm on my kitchen counter now, so my elbow's down, and my forearm, so my arm is supported. I can't even stir pots on the stove. My arm goes blue, heavy, numb, and dead pretty quickly after. I tried making scrambled eggs a few weeks ago, and it actually sent me into a flare-up, which again is a temporary worsening of symptoms. So apparently I can't even make eggs right now. So it is very hard. And something I don't think I've mentioned, though I think it's kind of implied, the original injury was a work injury, so I was under workers' comp. And I could probably go on an entire 4-hour-long video on that journey in its own. And how I was treated and what happened and what I had to fight for. Quite appalling. I'm sure a lot of you would be very appalled to hear. But I laugh when they send a letter. Like they sent a letter recently about they want me to see a new specialist for a possible another diagnosis, and I'm fine. That's great. But they never let me know. I just got a phone call from a random doctor's office saying, come in. And of course, I thought the worst. I thought they're going to try to make me fight again and force me to go back to work, even though it's against my surgeon and my specialist recommendations. And, I had a bit of a panic attack. And then I did the adult thing and I went on the online portal and saw that they're sending me for assessment for another condition that they think I might have. So it's a good thing, I think. I don't think it's a bad thing, but they are not the nicest people to deal with. They've made me come so close to quitting on more than one occasion, like completely giving up. Not to sound morbid, but checking out. Like when you're really down and out and you're catastrophically injured, like I might not have amputated my limb, like I might not have lost my limb in a construction accident, but my injury that I developed is catastrophic. I can't work. Not only that, but I can't function as a normal adult human being. Just putting my jacket on. I hate the winter because putting my jacket on sends my arm into a complete spaz episode. The nature of the nerve compression in me, also my phrenic nerve, which is the nerve that controls breathing, is compressed. So when the arm, when I overuse the arm, like trying to put on a jacket and get it zipped up and get the dog ready, it just throws my arm into a panic, which throws my breathing into a panic. And if you've ever been able to not breathe, you know that it's not a fun feeling, especially at my age. This is a daily thing I have to deal with. It's not fun. And then on top of having to deal with all this, the catastrophic injury, all the things it's preventing me from doing, especially working. And if you knew me before, I was a workaholic, and I would go back from my surgeries before the doctor told me I should. They did sign it off, but they said I should probably take more time off. And I said, no, it'll be easy. I'll be very careful, which I was. But still, I advocated to go back early all the time for all my surgeries. And even then, they just treat you like complete shit. And I don't know, I feel like I understand. I try not to take it personally now. I used to very much so. But I try not to take it personally now, but I just don't understand how, I understand that it's an assurance company and their goal is to not pay anybody. So I understand from that perspective, but I don't know. I feel like if that was my job, I still would have a heart. I would still treat my clients with respect. I would still have empathy for what they're undergoing. And, I would hope that I don't let the few people who ruin it by taking advantage of the system, ruin it for those who are actually catastrophically injured and would do absolutely anything to go back to work. I would hope that I would conduct myself in a different way. I mean, how many times did she close my claim on me without calling me until 2 weeks later, leaving me frantically wondering how I'm going to pay the bills, while also how I'm going to get to a specific specialist that I need an expedited referral to because the nerve in my arm is damaged. There was a point there that at the beginning was the worst of it. After I passed the time that their computer system said I should have to heal, like each condition has a specific guideline. Like you should be. I think they said that I should be healed by 6 to 8 weeks after surgery, which is complete bullshit because it's not true, especially for the degree of damage that I had. And the extent of the injury I had. It can take 2 years for the nerves to fully heal. So it's absolutely crap. So then they kicked me off. And I had to fight. At that time, I wasn't seeing the proper specialist because my condition was progressively getting worse and I didn't have the proper diagnosis yet. I didn't see the right specialist yet. So after being kicked off, scrambling to try to get... I think I was lucky in that I was already off on WCB for longer than 4 or 6 months, which is the qualifying period for disability. So disability did kick in, but I had to scramble to get that paperwork in. And of course, they're not going to process it right away. They have to do their own investigation and review medical and stuff. And so I know I spent like 4 weeks without income. Luckily, I am married and have a husband, but when you're living on a salary of 2 nurses and all of a sudden it's cut out from you without any notice, it's difficult. I mean, at the time we still had like student loans and card payments, and I had to reach out to my mom for help a couple times. And, you would think that they would at least have the wherewithal to... They know that they're closing your claim like weeks before they're doing it because they've set up team meetings so that they could review your file and so that they could tell whoever that they think that you should be healed by now, right? So they have the capacity to call me 2 weeks before saying, hey, this is where we're at. We're looking at kicking you off. Just want to let you know so you could get your affairs in order. Like, okay, I would have... I think, responded relatively okay to that. Now, the good thing is that every decision they've made, we've appealed and won because they've made their decision an error. But that's besides the point. It's the whole traumatic events that happen around each of their decisions. I mean, I've been with them, or had been with them for 3 years and kicked off probably 3 times. because each time I'm getting worse and they don't want to accept that. So they want to kick me off and hope that I will go away and I won't know what to do, or I will be tired of appealing and I will have no more fight. And I kind of don't have a fight anymore, but I have a good union and they're doing all of the work with appealing. I just have to show up when they tell me to, they give me a call or an email, just be there to answer and provide info. And I've only had to talk in like a public setting once. That was during COVID, so it was actually online through video conference. It was, the appeal had gone up in stages and I had to talk in front of, I don't know, I think she was a judge of some sort. So I've only had to really be like presently involved on that one occasion, but even all the other occasions were so traumatic for me. Like when I see that it's WCB calling, I literally have a panic attack. It's not a major panic attack, but it's enough that my head is spinning for the rest of the day and I just can't wait to go to bed because nothing will make that kind of anxiety or panic go away. Even just talking about it now makes me feel stressed. As you can see here, I'm now working on the blue and I'm just popping off random diamonds where I think it might look good. I think it's turning out okay so far. I think this is actually turning into a full-on WIP and Chat. We're at 37 minutes now. I came up here just to do a few highlights in her hair, and here I am yakking and still up here doing this. My back is actually getting quite sore, so I'm going to have to stop soon, but I would like to get these highlights done. Because I diamond paint on the couch on my tilting desk, I find it really difficult to concentrate on doing special diamonds there. I drop them and it's just awkward. Like if I did a cross stitch conversion, I don't think I could do it over there either because it just requires a little bit more concentration, which I don't think I could have sitting over there. So my back's getting sore. I don't know what I want to do with this area here. I'm just going to move the camera a little bit so you guys can still see, so I can lean on the counter a little bit more. I think I'm going to continue it down here. These crystals again that I'm using are from Oraloa, and the quality I think is good. The sparkle's nice and they actually fit nicely in this painting. I think, as I said before, I think this painting is the new grid because the diamonds are fitting together quite tightly. Actually, almost too tightly. Because the strength in my hand is going, it's been a little hard for me to place the diamonds. It's just taking a little more effort, more muscle to click them into place, I guess the word I'm looking for. Now I'm one-handed because my left has decided it's given up on me. Now I went on a little bit of a rant there, but yeah, my original injury was pulling a laundry bag, and then it cascaded into following that. About a year after that, I spontaneously herniated a disc in my neck, which we believe is related. It just exploded basically, and I needed surgery within, I think, 6 months because it was compressing my spinal cord. And then before I had the disc explode, I had my ulnar nerve at my elbow fixed. They thought it was, they didn't think. It was being compressed at the elbow severely from the injury. When I injured it, I felt at my elbow too, like a twang. Something happened to that nerve from my neck all the way to my fingers. But again, workers' comp didn't think that was possible. So at first they didn't deny my elbow, and because I wasn't seeing my own specialists, I couldn't appeal that one. So that was frustrating, but everything else so far, until recently, has been accepted. With a fight, I should add. Everything's been a fight. And I don't know, I feel like after a while, like, just take a look at my medical file. Like, everything's there. All the dots are connected. Like, I don't know why I'm still having to fight. And I guess it just comes down to insurance company not wanting to pay money I mean, I hear from you guys in the States from time to time about medical things that have come up and how much it cost you and what was covered and what wasn't. And, one of my friends had a surgery scheduled and I think it was canceled like the day before, which I thought is absolutely ridiculous. It takes, especially for people who are scared of surgery or who've never had surgery before, it takes a lot of kind of, for me, when I had my first surgery, I remember it took a lot of kind of pep talk and, I had a lot of anxiety in that week leading up to it. It was everything going to go okay? Was I going to wake up from surgery? Was I going to suffer a complication? I can imagine if it was me with my surgery date being canceled the day before, I would have probably myself had a meltdown. Luckily, all the surgeries that I have had, aside from the first surgery I needed for my work injury was during COVID. So it was delayed by like 2 or 3 months. But soon as our province opened up surgeries, I was one of the first ones to get in. That was another thing, COVID threw a wrench and everything because basically the only surgeries my province was doing during the time was like life or limb. Like if you were going to die, then they would do your surgery. Just taking a look and seeing where else I want to add, if there's anything else. Kind of want to add something in here, but she's got a lot of ABs going down there. That's a teal one. Maybe I could add, I'm going to pop those teal ones out and add some more blues over there. And then I'm probably going to call it quits because I need to rest now. Because this has turned into an entire event. My neck is spasming. I actually also get nerve pain in my face. It's the worst feeling in the world. My eyeball burns and I get a deep pain behind my eye and my whole left side of my face. I can almost envision a line going down my forehead and nose and chin. My left side of my face goes tingly. It's awful. One of the injections that they did, which was new, was something called an occipital nerve block. I don't think I've ever had one before. It actually helped that burning pain. The first one did. It lasted a couple weeks. And then she did give me another one on over a week ago whenever I had the last set of injections. But the first one was done by a different doctor, so maybe that's why. They could have used a different dose or have a different kind of technique, but it felt like it was the same area. But the one she did, it only helped that burning face pain for 3 days. Did I pop off a brown diamond? Where did it go? That's the only thing I hate about popping off diamonds after you've placed them is you accidentally pop off surrounding ones. It's a little bit annoying. Now, where was I? Again, I don't have my light pad up here, so I'm having a hard trouble seeing too, so I'm getting a bit of a headache from that. But when I have a spur of energy, I have to take advantage of it, otherwise it's gone fast. But during the afternoon is the time I usually struggle. I struggle with the time. I'm in more pain. My arms are working less. It's requiring more energy. They're going numb faster, or they're constantly numb. So the afternoon I find is a hard time for me because I really would love to spend hours and hours diamond painting again, but I just physically can't. So it's kind of a bummer. I think that looked good. That looks nice. I'm going to pop those 3 out though. So that's hard because I can diamond paint for a little bit, but then I'm stuck. I haven't been able to cross stitch the last few weeks. Just the fine needle movements are really hard for me. But I think with the diamond painting, if I stick to a thicker pen like Bistro Blanks, they're generally on the thicker side, especially in the middle here. So when my hand is tired, I find myself holding up here, and you don't actually, I don't have to grip the pen very hard. It's just resting in my hand, and I kind of hold it like that, so it's kind of just being supported by those 2 fingers, and I diamond paint away. But also this grid is, the nice thing is there's no gappings, but it is harder for me to click them into place, so I may need to try and focus more on round paintings, which sucks because there are some nice squares out there. I'm still going to do some of them. I just need to be patient and not be so hard on sorry, I'm just cleaning up here off camera. Not be so hard on myself, I think. Pop a few more out. I wonder if I should add some green in here. I don't think so. She does have some green. It might look okay if I did a couple green. Maybe not too many, maybe just like one over here, and I could put one in here just so it kind of, maybe in this twisty thing there. Maybe I'll do that next after I do add this little bit of blue here. I find the more tired I get too, the harder it is for me to multi-place actually. Especially when I'm dealing with little areas, the filling in part where you do, with these tighter canvases, where you do have to push a little bit harder. I find after a little while my arm fatigues quite quickly, and single placing is easier on my arm. Okay, let me put this blue away and let's pull out some green. I may need to actually finish the green up later because as I'm standing here now, my legs are starting to shake, which means my other benefit of having a broken automatic nervous system is it's failing. So if I don't sit down soon, I'm going to faint. So I think I'm going to wrap this up. It looks like this turned from a short to a WIP and Chat. I hope you all enjoyed my little, what's the word I'm looking for? Unplanned is the word I'm looking for. That's not the word, but it means the same thing. My unplanned blinging up of her hair, and kind of a little bit about my process in this painting, what I'm doing, which is just throwing in accents in her wings and her hair. So yeah. Note to self, don't let the filming thing that holds the phone touch the power button or volume button, and it will call emergency services on you. Don't do that. Anyway, at the end of this WIP and Chat, I thought I would, I was getting ready to prepare the next step. I have my release papers ready for the next row. Now I have this part of the canvas that is quite a large section finished. I work over my tilted lap desk on the couch, right? This goes over the top, but eventually it starts hitting my legs and gets banged around, which I don't like. So what I do is I roll it. I do the same thing at the bottom when I start the canvas, so it's not getting all crumpled in my lap. And then once I've gotten a small portion of the bottom left, I will then start rolling it at the top. So what I do, sorry, you're hearing my cover minder fall on the floor. I'm just finding these extra diamonds. What I do is I've already gone over this top part with a roller, so I know the diamonds are all secured in place. When you roll a canvas, you want to roll it with the diamonds out, especially if it's a square, because if you roll them in, you can actually feel like I can't squish this down. Like, they're so tight together that if I was to roll this, they would start popping off like popcorn. So you got to roll it with the diamonds out. So I kind of fold it back on itself. You don't need a fancy pool noodle or PVC pipe or anything like that. I literally just fold it back on itself. Very carefully, I start the first kind of roll. And I'm not rolling it tightly, I'm rolling it loosely. But none of the diamonds are getting squished this way. And then I have these two bag clips. You can see it here. I just clip it to the front part. And it's now rolled and secured, so it's going to be hanging off the top of my tilted desk instead of in my lap getting all crumpled. That's what I do, and then I'll work my way down the rest of the canvas. Hope that was helpful. I will do another little clip when I have it on my table so you can see. You are now taking a peek at my little puppy named Zoe. Hey, she needs a haircut very badly. She's going to the groomers on the 25th, thank God. Anyways, I want to show you what it looks like on my table here. So this is the table I use. Bear with the close-ups here. So it's just a table from Amazon. I have it tilted, and then my light pad is on there. You can see those three big magnets at the top. What I usually do is stick magnets on top where those magnets are, corresponding magnets on, on my light pad. and it holds the canvas up here. When I've moved to the rolling it like this roll actually acts as a little lip, and you don't need those magnets anymore. The painting's not going to slide down at all. So that's what I do. I had the bottom part rolled too at the beginning. I had this rolled in the same way, with no pool noodle, no pipe, no nothing, just rolled on itself. When I roll this end, it doesn't matter if I roll it with the canvas facing in or out. The glue, it's poured glue. It doesn't matter which way you roll it, so that's up to you. But definitely when you roll it up here, make sure you have the diamonds out. But yeah, so she's all set and ready to be worked on tomorrow. I'm getting close to finishing her. I blinged out her hair a little bit. I think it looks cool. And then her wings. So that's it for us. Another shot of Zoe stretching, doing the yoga pose, doing yoga. Anyways, happy diamond painting, y'all. See you next time. Bye.